The Bucs are 6-7, but they lead their division. They're probably going to be in the postseason.
Tom's going to have to play elite. He's going to have to take care of the football. He's going to have to throw the ball down the field.
The Buccaneers should be like, we are gearing up. We go through the whole 17 for this.
Well, they're tough. They're very physical. They play hard. We're going to face a tough D-line every week. We just got to get ready to play, and we got to be physical too.
But in that locker room, everything that we said we wanted to do this year is still in front of us.
I'm tired of hearing about them. What about us? Everybody's still playing with us. They don't know if we for real. We mean business when we step on this field. We know who we are from the start to the finish. Have that shit on your mind.
Looking for one here. Going deep for Godwin. He's got it.
We're down at 9. Another sack of percent. Back at the 30-yard line, it was Keanu Neal again.
The three-man pressure gets home. It's Tryon Shoyinka. Pressure coming. Look out. And Pickens taken down inside the 5.
He's great. He's poised in the pocket. He throws a great ball all over the field. He can throw it any angle. He can make any throw. He has some great receivers to throw to.
There's high expectations for him coming out. He's lived up to it.
It's a blocking in front of the players for him. Touch midfield. Ball is loose.
Another football. It's loose. Did the Bucs come up with it? Tampa Bay says we did.
Brady moves out to the end zone. There's the holds on. Great catch for the touchdown.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another session of Sports Talk 49. These two gentlemen have been on before, but we're going to introduce them again. We've got Deshaun T-Man Tisdale all the way out in Georgia, and my man Big C, Caleb Benenoch here to give you our recap of Sunday's games, because there's a whole lot to talk about as Caleb will sit there patiently, because I know he's got a lot to get off his chest. Fellas, what's going on?
Not much, man. Doing good.
Hey, man, it's a great day to be here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, the best part of this right now is the NFC South as a division whole.
Is that the best part?
And right now, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's the best part about it right now. To be honest with you, is that if it was any other division right now, we would be, you know, this is like that. What was it? The AFC West back in the days when the Seahawks was like 7-9 and you know making the playoffs, right? Like
it was the NFC least, or they call it the NFC East, where everybody was bad. I think that's where it was.
I mean, right now this team is.
I was going to say, Tom himself with the worst division in football. He has had more easy passes rules than anybody I can think of. Other than the Patrick Mahomes years, Miami was always bad. The Chiefs were bad up until Patrick Mahomes. Well, they weren't bad; they were mediocre. Who else did they play? Who's in that?
They played the Jets always, so that's 2 wins.
Jets, Dolphins, Bills, and they were terrible for years.
Yeah, the Jets had the Buffalo dude. So like he's always in the worst division, and he gets cakewalk. Like the Bucs are going to have a losing record. He's going to be in the playoffs, and I bet you he's going to win his first playoff game.
I was saying the same thing.
That's going to be crazy, right?
Listen, I would tell you this. Dallas fans have already called me and said exactly what you said. They feel like the Tom Brady effect will work for that first playoff game. And regardless, remember, right now, we're a blemish. The Buccaneers are a blemish on that Dallas record right now. And if he comes out and has a Tom Brady-esque game, he can get a win, right? He can get a playoff win. I'm sure that'll break some record, because it feels like every 30 seconds Tom Brady is breaking a record for being alive. I wish they had, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so he'll get another win. They'll say he did this, he did whatever, but I'm sure we'll lose after that, because I haven't seen enough from this offense, and I can't wait to get your take on what you see out of this offensive line. Know you've been in the trenches. Know you're going to look at it a different perspective than we are. But obviously, I mean, most people are saying, hey, the line is abysmal. is it true, Caleb? What are you seeing out of this offensive line? Let's not even go with the problem, but what are you seeing just in general? And then let's go a little bit deeper into it.
Okay, from the O-line, there's just inconsistency. And that's expected when your center is out. Your all-pro right tackle is out. Your left tackle's dealt with injuries, like an elbow injury. People don't know this. An elbow injury for offensive lineman is really, really tough. You can't punch, especially the inside elbow, which I think it is for him. You need a strong inside hand. You have a rookie at left guard, I think, a guy who's starting for a few games at center. And then Shaq Mason is a really, really good player. He's new. So you went from having Ali Marpet, Ryan Jensen, Donovan Smith, all played together for 3 years. Alex Kappa, been on the team for a long time, played with him. And then Tristan Wirth, who's a plug-and-play superstar at right tackle. You go from that to shuffling pieces, guys coming in, guys coming out, guys moving around. It's going to be tough. One thing I will say is Tom Brady always gives you a chance because he gets the ball out so fast. So I'm not ready to put the blame on the offensive line entirely, right? Like, again, they're still in the top 10, I believe, in sacks allowed in the league. So they're not. There's worse offensive lines out there. There's guys playing worse than them. I just think the offense is kind of stale. I think the offense is kind of stale.
Well, now, did you say the offense is? Well, let me ask you this: so you say the offense is stale, Caleb. We say the offense is stale from the perspective of just staying in that 12 or 13 personnel. What are you seeing that is making this? Because in this game, you can hear the commentators just letting you know in this last game that, hey, team came out, they're running motion, right? Even if fans of you guys are out there in TV land, you'll realize that when that motion happens, it allows the quarterback and the offensive personnel to understand what the defense is doing, whether they're in man, whether in zone, who's covering what areas, things of that nature. It also gives the offensive line a scheme on who's there to block, whether a linebacker is going to move or not, because when that motion happens, it changes the defensive assignment, which can then also change the offensive assignment and responsibilities aside from that. But that was in the first half. Then we went back to what we've seen for the past couple of weeks out of this offense, which is just very plain, mundane. And I'm not saying I'm looking for Philly specials. That's definitely not what I'm looking for. But I have not seen any type of dynamic offensive prowess out of this team. Is that a reflection of the offensive line? Is that the quarterback? Or is that the play calling? What are you seeing there?
I think it's a combination of the quarterback and play caller. When I say stale, I think what I mean is there's no creativity in the offense. Tampa has runs the same 4 or 5 running plays since before I got there, right? They know they're going to run a kick play, which is basically power with no pullers, right? 2 double teams, right? Everybody knows. Huh?
Say that again in case somebody missed that. How many plays have they ran since you've been there? How many combinations?
Like the same, like 3 to 5 running plays since before I got there, right? It's a running joke around the league. Everybody knows, like, they're going to run this kick play 15 to 20 times a game, right? And then you're surprised when the run's getting stuck. And if you have no running game for Tom Brady, who is aging, right? As great as he is aging. He is less than. He's missing throws that Tom never misses, right? Like Mike Evans, you have Chris Godwin, you have options, There's been a lot of struggle at the tight end position with injuries because Cam Brate's been out, Gronk leaves, you no longer have O.J. Howard. And I think the rookie hasn't kind of been what they thought it would be. But I think it's a combination of the quarterback and the play calling. I think they have to dial things up better for Tom. They have to find the things that he does really, really well at his age and stage now and put him in a position to succeed, because 4 straight turnovers on 4 straight possessions, Tom Brady doesn't do that. Tom does not do that. But wait. I think this is where we get to a point, like with the ensuing Christmas that's coming up, and maybe little kids watching. There's a point in your life where
what you talking about? He gave out presents Sunday.
For some people, it's Christmas yesterday. But I mean, with the holiday upon us, Caleb. I mean, I understand what most people understand, and whatever people's beliefs and things are, I don't go against it. So there's some people out here that their kids say, hey, Santa's coming. And there's other people that Santa doesn't go to their house. Mom and dad purchase things for them, right? So at this point, I cannot believe in the old Santa as if we were 12 or 11 or 10 or 9 or 7 years old, right? That's the old Tom Brady, right? They did it yesterday in the game. They showed a picture like, listen, when Tom was already winning the Super Bowl, Joe Burrow had a backpack on. He looked like he was in 3rd grade, but now the Tom Brady right now that we know now, he does give up the ball. He does turn the ball over 4 times in the game. He throws the ball into the ground. This Tom Brady, this 2022 Tom Brady, he throws the ball away. He just throw it away. I mean, let's just start. He threw. He had a model wife. Brady. He had a model wife. Threw the model wife away. He had a franchise that basically he stayed with a franchise his whole entire career. It was no brainer he was going to retire with that franchise. He threw that away. He comes down. He gets the perfect walk off into the sunset. I mean, Shane. He had the perfect one. Threw it away. I got Mike Evans, top tier receiver. I'm not throwing to him. Throw it away. I'm throwing to Chris Godwin all the time. I did happen to throw the same pass that got him injured. Threw it away. I'm just saying right now, we're throwing people in the coverage. We're wondering why picks don't work. Am I throwing that interception? Phenomenal catch by the DB. But do I throw that to Cameron Brate in that situation? A comeback to a tight end that he has to dive on the ground for? Throw it away. Just let me know. What is he doing? He's just throwing money away. Now, the good part for him is he has the money to throw away. What about the rest of the guys that they don't? And this is a contract year. They just barely making the team. He's got Julio there. What have we seen from Julio?
I'm not going to put that on Tom's plate. I'm going to put Julio on Tom's plate. Julio.
It's his pick.
He asked for it, Caleb. They gave him everything he wanted.
He asked for him and Gage.
He was said, I need those two. He got everything he wanted.
As he should.
Everything he wanted. Okay, but let me ask you this. When Cole Beasley came out of retirement and he looked in Tom Brady's eyes and he said,
Everybody else talk about
I'm going back. he left. He said, I'm going back. And now I see Cole Beasley coming back again. Is he already back?
As a player?
Yes.
He's back. Playing for the Bills. As a player, you can tell the vibe on a team, in the locker room, in a building when you walk in. And whatever that vibe that Cole Beasley felt, he was like, nah, it ain't worth playing another year for this. Right?
Blake, did I say it? Blake, did I say it? Blake, did I say it? I said it. Shout out to, what's her name? What's the girl name? Toxic Girl, Christine Rock. It's a vibe all the time. It's a vibe.
Cole Beasley said, I don't want none of that money, man. He said, I'm good. I'm going to go get it elsewhere.
Yeah. Whatever that vibe was, he wasn't feeling it. But again, my problem with this whole Tampa situation and what's going on with Tom Brady. Tom got everything he asked for. You go put Patrick Mahomes on this team and watch Mike Evans have 2,000 yards receiving and whatever it is. Again, we know he's aging. Mm-hmm. My problem is nobody wants to give him blame for anything. They're blaming Giovanni Bernard in post game. They're giving him slack. They're blaming Todd Bowles. They're blaming this, everything, but saying, hey, the quarterback gets all the credit when you win, and even as Tom Brady is great, he needs the blame when you lose. They didn't play well. They scored 7 points against the Niners? Yeah. It was abysmal. It was an awful game to watch. And at some point in time, we're gonna have to start holding them accountable the same way we hold everybody else accountable when they mess up. So and I know the offensive line is an easy scapegoat, but it's not quite that simple. You gotta switch it up. You gotta switch it up.
Speaking of
I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair.
I want y'all to hear Tom Brady's post-game press conference too, and I want to talk about that as well as we're talking about Tom at this moment.
I want to start
Tom, you guys looked like you're in control of that game, and then turnovers, starting with the kind of a botched fake punt there, gotcha. Just what was happening that was creating all those?
Just, unforced errors. So just 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions. You can't win football games like that. So.
Tom, sorry. Todd's talked about bucks on bucks. You guys are beating yourselves the last couple of weeks. You hear your coach say that. What's going through your mind?
Yeah, we just, we had a good first half. We're in a good position, and we just literally just, gave them the ball. So if you give them the ball, obviously we can't score. They're a good offense, so they scored, and, they took advantage.
In the first half, you guys were moving the ball really well, possibly even the best you have all season, especially in the passing game. What felt different when you guys opened the game in the first half compared to other games?
Yeah, we played good. I think we had the ability to play good. I don't think we lack confidence in playing good. It's just consistency, and 2 good quarters doesn't win you any football games, and 5 turnovers doesn't win you any football games.
The leader on this team, what can you do to try to help this team moving into next week and wiping it away?
Yeah, just work hard. Just work hard. So we got a huge game coming up. So I know I keep saying it, but it's a reality, and got to go make it better.
Tom, the last couple of seasons, you guys weren't beating yourselves for the most part. Why is it different this year, do you think?
All these games are individual games, and today was 5 turnovers. You can't win football games with 5 turnovers.
You've been so good about limiting turnovers first 3 months of the season. Is there something different? Is it an urgency that changes that you have for today? What was different out there?
The two fumbles were, my fault. It was uncharacteristic. One of the interceptions was just a terrible throw, and the other one, I think, I got hit, and the guy was laying on the ground. The ball landed in his arm. So.
They seemed like they were pressuring you a lot more in the second half versus the first half. It wasn't necessarily with blitzes or anything like that. Was there anything they were doing differently? I don't know if it was more stunting in the second that allowed them to get to you.
Not much. I think we just, I don't think so. Yeah, it wasn't a lot of blitzes per se, but it's just our execution. And again, turnovers kill you. It killed us today. It's just, yeah. Not the way we need to do in order to win. That's certainly not the way I need to play in order to win.
Tom, what can you say about Joe Burrow, seeing him on the sidelines and the way he was able to rally back in that second half for his team?
Yeah, he's a really good quarterback. All right, thanks, guys.
What felt different?
Tom Brady. It's just not the press conference. I thought that I wanted to hear him take responsibility for that, because he gave 4 turnovers, 2 fumbles were on him, 2 interceptions were on him, and he was just up there going through the motions and just didn't.
He took responsibility. I think he said he did it. I think what you don't see there, had that been someone else, it would seem like they're being grilled a lot more by the press, and it's very kid gloves with the interaction with Tom Brady. He doesn't have to get snarky because no one comes out of their neck or talks out of their mouth at him any type of way. Even a coach, even many coaches around the league we've seen over time, reporters get very snarky and aggressive with them, if you will. That has never, I've not seen that be the case with Tom Brady. If he could drop F-bombs, he could curse, he could not curse, he could be short, he could be long, he can go off topic, he could just blatantly not answer the question, and no one ever really follows him up. Like, that doesn't happen.
Caleb, you look like you got something. Go ahead.
This is funny you mentioned that, because when Tom Brady yells at his offensive line or curses the players and that, and the other, he's fired up and he's a winner and he's competitive. And then Cam Newton or somebody else does it, and they're killing this dude and saying he's an awful teammate. Terrell Owens is a bad guy, this, that, and the other. So, we know what it is. We know what it is with him. I don't know
what it is. What you think it might be? Hold on. Wait, what you think it might be?
The gremlin mask on. Go ahead.
What you think it might
Don't
be,
be
Caleb?
shy. Say what you want to say. You don't have
Tell
to
me what you think it might be, Caleb.
What you want to say?
Come on, man.
Let me pass you a mask. Let me pass you a mask. That way you ain't got to be the one that say it.
Yeah, he's the golden boy, But again, like I said, he earned it.
I was thinking it was because of that side. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking that was the reason. You know what I'm saying? But I think
yeah, I think for me the saddest part in all this is the fact that Todd Bowles is going to get fired. I think that's the toughest part. I feel bad for Todd Bowles. I feel bad for Lovie Smith up in Houston. You know, these guys are not given ample opportunities to succeed. You give Lovie Smith, what's his name, Sims? What's the Davis Mills? And no, you know, like playing the NFL is hard. No shade to that brother, right? He's doing his best, right?
Trash team.
You give a coach 1 year, look. Let me put it into perspective. What Todd Bowles is going through right now. Tom Brady comes back and says, "Hey, if I'm what's being reported, he want to go to Miami."
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Arians says, "You're not getting your release out of this contract, so you got to come play here." Tom says, "Okay, if you want me to come play here, you're not going to be the coach." The only person in this organization that had the heart to challenge me, you can no longer have control of this team. So essentially, whoever the coach is a figurehead now. It's my team. I've already established that. I said he's gone and he's gone. So that none of y'all in here better not look at me wrong. Right? That's the hierarchy now, right? I'm the head honcho. Cool. He comes in, he says, "Hey, 11 days, I'm not coming to practice." Tom doesn't need to practice. And most of those days he probably wasn't going to throw anyway, so that's not the big deal. Again, it's just establishing leadership, establishing a hierarchy, right? Tom says, "Yeah, I'm not coming. Y'all figure it out." They asking this man, Todd Bowles, in the press, "Hey, when's Tom coming back?" He's like, "I don't know, but I trust Tom will be ready when he gets back." He doesn't even know when his quarterback is coming back.
Yeah,
right?
I remember.
Again,
I remember.
Losing power. Tom comes back, looks like Tom. They have a first great win. Things start to go a little south. Tom is aging. He's not playing well. Todd Bowles is left to take the brunt of the blow because you're not going to blame the GOAT. He won 7 Super Bowls. He's been to 10. You're not going to get the blame.
Yeah.
The what's the word I'm looking for? The chemistry and what's going on in the locker room is so messed up at this point. Todd Bowles needs a chance to go draft himself a quarterback, right? This is a quarterback-heavy draft coming up. I don't think he's going to get that chance. I think he's going to get fired. I really do. He needs a chance to go and start afresh without a guy who is like he's not the leader of that team, and he should be. A head coach is of great importance. I've been around great. We talked about this last time. I've been around great head coaches and how they run things, how things are supposed to go, right? But if you don't give him that power, Tom Brady in New England when I was there, there's no doubt who's the leader in that building. He like a mafia boss when he walks by. Like everything stopped. Everything stopped. Robert Kraft doesn't even mess with him. The billionaire owner doesn't even mess with that dude, right? Sean Payton was the same way. Sean come in, everybody sit up and tighten up and they know what's going on. I don't see that from them. And your head coach has to have that power, right? He has to be the one in charge. He has to be the one that can challenge you. He's never come out and said Tom played bad. It was like every other week, Bruce Arians, even when Tom played well, Bruce Arians was over there like, "Man, Tom missed this throw, missed that throw, missed this throw." And you can say what you want about BA, they were winning games. But that's because he had the power and he was empowered to do that. And when you take that power away from a coach, you handcuff him. And that's what I think is going on right now on that team. I think Tom needs to be challenged. I think he needs to be told, like, "Hey, I know you like these things and you're great, so we're going to do these things. But this is what we're going to do as well." Right? And I think it's kind of made the offense kind of very mundane and stale. And it's sad to see because a lot of those guys are my really good friends and I want them to succeed. And the city's different when Tampa wins. Maybe this rent will start going down now and the mortgage will start going down because Tampa ain't winning like that. Knock some of the prices back down to earth.
Do you think, as you look at this team, do you think it's, when you look at the personnel that Tom brings out, doesn't it give you the Aaron Hernandez, the Gronk, the 2 tight ends? Like, he has 2 phenomenal tight ends. He can dink and dunk if he wants to, but he doesn't really have to put himself at risk. It seems like he's basically gotten to play it very safe over his career. He's telling you he's dunking it down, but the reality is he doesn't like the no risk it, no biscuit. It kind of exploited a lot of his bad balls. And I mean, it's not everyone that can throw a great deep ball. We've saw already this season. He's come up short many a times. He's just not gotten the ball there. So that's not. He is still a very prideful person. I think anyone that gets to the NFL level is a very prideful person about their particular game and skill set. He's not going to want to throw those passes that he's not excelling on. The first one that's going to know Father Time is knocking on the door is him. He's not going to tell the trainer every little eight, but he's going to know that didn't feel like it felt a month ago. And the offense, he's tailoring the offense down. In this game, we saw the game plan. We saw what they sat down and scripted, and it worked. The second half, once they had a lead, we saw Tom's offense, which was the regular offense that we have been seeing, that was a no motion, no anything, and when they tried to get back on the script again, they just never were able to get back on. And momentum is a mother, because when momentum swings, it swings haymakers. And I mean, that's just what happened in this game. The momentum swung, and the pendulum never swung back the other way.
Yeah, man. Tom, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to go back to a little what you were saying about the hierarchy with the team and all that stuff. Like I said, I've said it several times, so it was relieving to hear you say the same thing, because I know one individual on the team that said that himself about the whole Todd Bowles is handcuffed. Like, this is a hot topic here, because people they want to blame Bowles for everything, but those that have 2 cents of the thinking that no, he's not right, he's not the one calling the shots. We talked last time about this, Caleb, about how the play calling was being called, how Byron and Tom would come up and they would come up with a play plan for the game, and BA would be like, "This is trash. Pick something else." And he said, "Tom got tired of that. Yeah, this is trash." He said, "Come with something else." That's why you don't see dynamic passing or more vertical shots downfield. And if you do, they're all coming up short now. You don't see a whole bunch of end arounds and things like you saw last year, trying to like big plays that you saw when BA was part of the team. Not saying he called all the plays, but he had a hand into the play calling, which is a totally different side of the way the play calling is now. It's either, I mean, is Byron even have a say in this, or he's just calling it from the sheets? It's like the play sheet. Like we don't really know the ins and outs, but I do know for sure that's like you said, that Bowles' hands are tied, and Tom Brady has clearly shown his dominance over this team since preseason. All the signs were there, and I know you can't say everything that you know, because you're still friends with these guys on this roster on the Patriots. You were teammates with Tom Brady and things like that. So what you say, is real critical, because me and Deshaun have said these things all the time. So it's just awesome to hear that you saying the same things that we've been seeing, and you got these guys' phone numbers in your phone right now. So your information can't be less than ESPN, all these other guys, the information. So that, that's why I just wanted to say this, because when people watch this and they lose contact, I want you to bring them back in. He's got better information than the mofos you listening to on Twitter. So the shit he's saying out of his mouth, the shit he's saying out of his mouth is coming from people he knows. They broke bread together. They eat at the same table. So what he's saying is no less than anybody else you hear it from. Go ahead. That was my rant.
I don't. It blows my mind that Mike Evans does not get 10 to 15 targets a game. You look at all these top receivers in the league. Look at Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase.
I get that ball to him.
Devontae Adams. Get me the ball. Let me make plays. Let me do something good. If you throw an interception, okay. So what? But like all this, if you throw it to tight ends like you have Rocket or Hernandez, no. You don't have James White in the backfield. Passes, right? You don't have Julian Edelman or what you call in the slot, right? Chris Godwin's coming off of ACL and he's getting better and better as the week goes on. But why does Mike Evans not get schemed to pass him the ball? I don't understand that. Throw it up for him. I've seen Mike do some amazing things, right? Like you need a spark. You need to have big plays, and just this kind of slow-paced dinking and dunking, a lot of empty calorie yards that and stats that have been going on lately. Because you look at the game and you're like, oh, Tom had 315 yards and whatever, 3 touchdowns. Like, oh, well, he didn't play that. If you watch, he's in there in garbage time, extra touchdown, trying to pass stats. Like, I just, I don't understand. And he works really well in a 2-minute offense when he's going really, really fast. If you have to, play the whole game like that, right? Play the whole game at a fast pace and have the no huddle. He did that a lot with New England. They mixed that a lot in there because I was there when they were doing those things. So if that's the case, if it's better if you just go fast and move quicker, then do that. But like this team is for the amount of talent.
Well, this is what I'm thinking, Caleb, and you said something very important. Mike Evans, been a star, been here, has already made history. We watched yesterday in that early scheme. You move him outside, you get the quick slant going to him. You see him get 83 yards, and I was like, oh, shoot, Mike will get 100 yards on the day. We're that much closer to, him hitting another 1,000-yard season, right? But I'm like, I've seen, and I'm watching the game, and I watch Tom miss throws, like miss people that I'm like, hey, your head's facing this way, and you still don't throw it to that guy. You throw it to the harder throw between 3 people trying to thread the needle, right? And then I'm like, wait, okay, that's one part about it. Obviously, he's not really going to get blamed, when he comes off. But I'm like, listen, when in doubt, I gotta go to my guy. Like I gotta go to the best. This guy has the biggest catch radius on the field, right? He gets so many pass interferences that if he doesn't catch the ball, if you put it in a respectable place in relations to him, there's a good chance you'll get a pass interference call. It's when you have a receiver that's dynamic in a size matchup like Mike, the 50-50 ball is a more advantage for you, but you're not throwing that because you don't. That's not what his comfortable, that's not where he's comfortable. That's not his wheelhouse, if you will. And I think early in the season, you alluded to it earlier when you said this, I noticed that BA got moved off the sideline, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if somebody had made a call to somewhere in the league and said, hey, you got somebody that's a front office person that's on the sideline. Because we know, as you saw BA on the sideline, he's chomping. He's not going to stand there. The coach in him will not allow him to stand there and not get active, right? So now he's upstairs in the booth and he can't say nothing.
I said it was Tom. Tom made the call. It wasn't nobody from. Yeah, it was Tom that said.
Hey, he made. He said, "Hey, guys, this is anonymous."
Okay, so look, right? Everybody, Russell Wilson is like the redheaded stepchild of the NFL this year. Everybody wants to down him, talk about how bad he is, and he's an easy punching bag right now. Everybody wants to kick one down. This man had the most wins for anybody in the first 10 years of the career, went to 2 Super Bowls, won 1, whatever. He gets look how important having a coach that can say, I know what your strengths are. Let's play to these. Hey, I know you want to throw it 40 times, but that's not a good game plan for this game. We need to run it 30. You throw about 25. Let's get this win. He gets there and he gets his own office. He gets $250 million. They say, hey, Russ, do what you want to go do. Throw it 40 times a game. And he looks abysmal. And I'm not done with Russell Wilson yet. The dude's amazing. He's a Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer. He didn't forget how to play football overnight, right? Dude's like, what, 30, 37, whatever it is. He's not old. 35, he's not old. Yeah. He's going to figure it out. They probably might need a new coach, But, that's how quickly things change when I've been with coaches who one of them is like, do it this way. And I might have not liked it, but it was better for me than if somebody else said, I've had bad coaches. And it's not, I'm not going to say their names on air, but it's you can tell a difference when somebody can articulate what they want from you and when they don't know how to put you in a position to succeed. So I think that, again, like I said, I got my qualms with BA, but he is showing how important he was to that team being successful the way it was the last couple of years. As far as knowing also,
I'll say this:
quarterback.
He does. He manages a superstar quarterback the right way, and I'm not sure if you had this when you were in New England, but it aside, obviously, I'm sure Tom kind of ran the building, but it felt like Belichick got what he needed. He didn't, or was it all Tom?
No, it was Bill. Everything is Bill. You
Everything's
don't.
Bill.
The
You don't
toilet
like
doesn't
talking to the media either.
A toilet doesn't get flushed without Bill Belichick knowing. When I got to the Patriots, my first day, there was like, because it was a big deal. I came from Tampa. You know, I was their starter the season before. It was like a whole thing. And when they came after practice, my first practice, somebody from the front office came up to me. He goes, "Hey, it would be cool if you just didn't say anything to the media about everything that's going on right now." And so all the media guys, they just came and just snuck it in. They on his way out, he was just like, "Hey, don't say much today." I didn't know what he was talking about. The whole media gathers around me. They're thinking, "Oh, it's a new guy. He doesn't know Patriots culture. This, that, and the other."
Trying to get you.
They start asking me questions, and they start asking questions, and I just said, I'm just focused on getting ready for the game." Like we've had meetings, we've had those times where he'll come inside and he'll be like, "Hey, it's just be better if nobody said anything to me this week." And so you get there and you like everything is super, super tight, like super locked in. Like there's no there's none of that, no nothing. Bill is the guy. He is the guy. He runs it, and it's a tight ship. And so I think it's the LeBron effect. Everybody can't coach LeBron James, right? Look at the Nets. It's better to play with this new coach because Steve Nash could not handle the superstars. He couldn't tell them to go play defense.
You should never got the job.
You don't get to slack off on defense. It's a difference. Like I'm not saying they're bad coaches, but handling somebody of that magnitude when you walk in a room, I don't know if you've ever been around somebody like this. When they walk in a room, they like suck the air out the room. Like if you're ever around Cam Newton, that's what it feels like. He walks in the room, he's 6 feet, my height, huge dude, big smile, air out the room. You have to know how to manage a person like that. Everybody's not capable of it, and I think that's kind of what the Bucs are running into right now.
I think they are running into it, but I think the big part is somewhere the coaching is that in order to put Todd Bowles in a situation where he could succeed, you couldn't put him in this situation. And here's the reason. He's shown you already what type of coach he is. He is very much a great defensive mind. You're always going to want to promote those OCs and DCs to head coaches. However, I don't think that it stops at head coach, but he's given me, hey, he's going to work on the defensive side and let the OC do what the OC does.
Right.
That portion of his coaching never got fixed when you have the what Tom Brady is, right? And then you have Brian Leftwich working with him and trying to figure it out. I'm sure he's going to try to accommodate Tom, right? Like if you get Leftwich sitting here, he's having a conversation with Tom. It's like, what could you tell me, right? Like I know you don't know, right? Like you know what I'm saying?
You were in the league when I was in the league, and I'm still playing. What you about to tell me?
I mean, that's what the rumor was that happened when he went to San Francisco for the when he was a free agent, and was it McDaniels? Not McDaniels, but Shanahan was trying to coach him on game situations. And you're the guy that lost to him 28-3 in the Super Bowl. How the hell are you going to tell me about game situations?
Yeah,
what are you about to tell me about?
I don't want to hear it from you.
So
you can't.
I think,
and it's like your legacy is not my legacy.
Yeah, I think this is Tom's last year in Tampa. I think Tom plays one more. I think he goes to San Fran. That's my. That's what I think. I think he goes to San Fran. I hope they give Todd Bowles and Leftwich another chance in the crack at it and to get a quarterback. Because they're probably going to have a mid-level pick. If you win 7 games, probably like in the 10-ish range, but it's a stacked quarterback class. I wish Caleb Williams was coming out. I love to see. He gives me Patrick Mahomes, and I don't want to compare him to Patrick Mahomes because that is, how I feel about him already. I'm very adamant about it. I think he's the most quarterback we've ever seen. I think he has that kind of capabilities. I I think Alabama's quarterback is really, really good. He's going to be a good, interesting prospect. I'm a little nervous about his size, though. He's very, very small. He's a lot like Tua, right? But I hope they get another chance to get things going and start afresh after Tom leaves, because I think Tom Bowles, he's a great dude, man, and he's a very great defensive mind. So I hope he gets another crack.
Are you hearing that he wants to go to Niners, or are you just, is that something you're guessing?
That's what I'm hearing through the grapevines.
He wants to go back home. He wants to go back home.
Yeah, go back home. And then the Niners don't even really. The Niners are winning with Brock Purdy, right? they won with everybody.
And what did Caleb say earlier, Blake? Tom does go where it's easy.
Well, he wouldn't. Well, what Caleb is saying is 100%, 10% true, because he wouldn't have to throw. Hint, Bucs fans, why the running the ball is so important. He wouldn't have to throw the ball 45 freaking times a game in San Francisco. What did Caleb say again? Dimes, gems he be dropping? He said, maybe the game plan isn't for you to throw 40 times a game. Maybe we need you to throw 25, and we run 30 times a game. Have 150 yards rushing, and you have about 210 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. That's a good day for a guy who's 40 plus years old.
Yeah.
And what does Tom Brady love? Pass catching running back. What did the Niners
play action pass
for? Christian McCaffrey. What does Tom Brady love? Pass catching tight ends who can also block. What do they have? George Kittle. They have a slot receiver in Deebo Samuel who does all things over the middle. So I think and a great left tackle, a really good right tackle, and the offensive line plays well together. So I think for him at this age and stage in his career, that is the perfect culmination to have one more chance to go try and get a Super Bowl and be home, have his homecoming.
And definitely the Niners team, I think we can all say that the Niners team looks like a team that is a playoff-built team. They're built for the playoff. They run, they play defense, they can get after the QB. They're a very team that you don't want to see in the playoffs.
No, you don't. No, you don't at all. You don't at all. So that's what I think happens. But again, like I said, hey man, he brought Tampa a Super Bowl. So guys, like everybody can just
listen. Let me ask you this, Caleb. Let me ask you this. This is important. I want to get this from you. A lot of people talking about the whole Jackson State thing with Deion leaving and stuff like that. Looking at this perspective, did Tom and this is I saw Deion at one of these announcements, something like one of his tweets. He was like, "Listen, I left Jackson State better than when I got there." Right. In a situation like this with Tom Brady coming to Tampa, I stand corrected. He definitely did. He definitely did overall. So for Tom in this situation, has he left? If he has to leave this year, is he leaving Tampa better than when he got here?
Yes, and not just the team, the whole town, the city, the state of Florida. Yeah. When I tell you prices went up in Tampa, I'm talking about prices went up. You want to rent a place here? If you want anything nice, it's $4,000 a month. You want a house? They went from $600,000 to $1 million now. Like he left this place 100 times better. Tampa didn't take stuff seriously when Tom wasn't here. I remember there was days we couldn't practice because we didn't have an indoor facility.
I remember that. Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7 days in a row we can't practice because we have no indoor. Or we got to go to
Hold on. You bring it up. So I remember that before that practice facility got built. That's why it was such a big deal. So here it goes. The Glazers had such a forte of not spending money. Why do you think that was that you guys are missing practices and you guys had some bad season? Wouldn't giving you guys the best opportunity to succeed be a top priority, like having somewhere to practice, especially in September and that time of hurricane season and all that going on? That's crazy to hear that.
My honest opinion about the Glazers and how they view not the dad, the young ones, right? The young ones who are not, because dad, Warren Sapp, he was into it like, we know the Bucs for what they were. The people who are running it now, I believe personally that they see it as a business and they're not truly invested in the football as it is. Because people don't know, they own Manchester United.
And Manchester United, They got everything.
United, Cristiano Ronaldo.
They are winning.
Just went and talked trash about him on TV for an hour in an interview. He said nothing has changed in 20 years since when I got here first, because he went back to Manchester United and he's gone now. But he says the same. The whirlpool is the same. The facility's the same. They've not made any upgrades. So I think for them, it's about a business, money in and money out. They don't care the way Jerry Jones cares. They don't care. Yeah. I didn't see the guy. The only Glazer I saw, I think the woman, the daughter, I forget her name right now. But I was on the social justice board when I was in Tampa, and so we met with her pretty regularly and went and did stuff in the community. So I saw her. I never saw any of them. My first day in New England, what's his name? The owner.
Kraft.
Kraft is in the locker room. He's in the facility. He's at the lunch table with the players, shaking hands like, hey, nice to meet you. I know we signed you yesterday, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, dude, I'm just this Robert Kraft here, right? And these guys, they integrate with the team. Mrs. Benson, I saw Mrs. Benson like 3-4 times a week, every week. She'd come and she'd say, hey, Caleb, knew my name, give me a hug. She's a part of the team. The Glazers, you see them every 3-4 weeks on a Sunday, and they come and shake your hand before the game and walk on. So they're not invested in it as a football team. They're invested in it as a business. Like, hey, are we net positive? Okay, cool, we're net positive. So I think when Tom got there, he was like, no, we're not doing this. We need this. Oh yeah, this food, the lunch is trash. Nah, we need better food. Come on. Whatever y'all eating upstairs, we get it down here, because all those things matter for morale. All those things matter for the players, and little things like that, little details, I think is what's missing.
What's the worst meal that you had that they provided for you?
Oh man, they had this I couldn't even. It was probably horse meat or something like that, man. Like they used to do this thing on once a week. We had these tacos, and it's like you just see them open this bag and just dump out this shoe leather and sauce that they call beef. And I kid you not, every day they had tacos for lunch. Everybody just makes themselves a turkey sandwich, eat their turkey sandwich, and then go to practice, because that was inedible. And it wasn't, again, like I said, things started changing. But my first 2 years, like it was crazy. Like I remember J.R. Sweezy was coming off of the Super Bowl.
Sweezy,
yeah, that's my guy, bro. He's awesome, man. And Vinny Curry, the same thing. Like when they came,
Big Ben. I love Vinny, man. When he was up, I was living up in Philly. I was living in Philly, and I got to rap with Vinny a couple times. Vinny is a funny dude.
He's awesome, man. I love him. And we're sitting there, and we're in like the players' lounge because it's thunderstorming and we can't practice. It was like the 4th day in a row or something like that. And Vinny's like, so we really not going to practice? They said, go home. I said, yeah. He said, how do we been like this? And I said, bro, I just looked at him. I was like, bro, welcome to Tampa, bro. Like, welcome, And so even
this is like, we're laughing about this right now, and like I said, here goes me. I think as a player all the time, and like you, Cal, I'm just like, how can you sit up here and tell me we're a losing franchise at this time, and we're missing practice because of effing rain? And this, we're not doing nothing. We're not in a gym somewhere in pads and sneakers going through stuff, anything, and you're just missing practice. Like, see, these are the stories that are never told. That's why I keep harping on this, because it answers a lot of questions on why things are the way they are. And since we're talking about things the way they are, I know you don't want to put names, but I'll say it for you. Is the culture right now? As Sean laugh, I told you I'm with the bullshit today.
I'm with the shit. He said, I'm with the shit.
Well, they say I got time today.
Yeah.
Is the culture as bad as with the Schiano era? Is that locker room like that bad to this point? Like with Tom?
Oh no, there's no way. No, there's no way.
He was a different beast. He tried to make this college, and these are professionals, and that wouldn't you couldn't do the
He's a grown man. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So like again, I think people don't, which is again like I'm getting into coaching, right?
Right.
College and the NFL it's like two different sports.
Not the same.
You cannot treat NFL players. That's why Chip Kelly didn't last. Because if you remember, the Eagles were winning. They were winning. They were doing pretty good. What's his name? What's that dude who won the Super Bowl for the Eagles? He came back. Foles.
The Foles, yes.
It was career. He had like 30 touchdowns, no interceptions. Like
he
was
came
running
back
that
and did it that
RPO.
last season.
He better fit that RPO.
He balled out.
Yeah.
But guys are like, hey, dude, I'm not running 180 plays of practice. Like, it's not happening, dude. I'm 32.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do it like that. Like, I have kids. You're not going to talk to me crazy. Like, so it's not what the shelter is. And I don't think the Tampa locker room is bad right now. The Tampa locker room, as far as the players go, is one of the best, and from that aspect, one of the best places I've ever been in. Okay. The players are close. It's a tight-knit group. Everybody hangs out. We used to go to dinners together. They still do those dinners together. Okay. Like, the locker room is perfectly fine. What I was referring to was you go as the ownership goes. Like, it starts from the top down, right? Okay. And so I would, to bring it back to the point where you asked me, did Tom leave Tampa in a better place till he got there? I think 100% yes, because I think he made them at the top. He's somebody who can come in and say, hey, Glazers, we need this, and we need it now.
Come up,
right?
Come up. Okay. He said, put up that money. Put the money where the mouth is.
So they had to pick up their level. They had to bring themselves up to scale.
Exactly. I didn't come here to lose. I'm Tom. And Brady. I don't lose. So you got to go do this to make this place better so I can win. Oh, we will never get Antonio Brown. You're getting Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
And what does he do? Catch touchdown in the Super Bowl. Oh, we'd never do this. No, that's exactly what you're going to do, because that's what I need. And so I think he definitely left Tampa in a better state than when he got there. 100%.
Hey, I mean, I can't argue with that. I mean, I definitely believe that those are facts. You're looking at it. I mean, Blake, Caleb, we continue to go over it. We got the rest of the games that are in front of us right now. At this team that we're seeing, are we able to come out and finish out the season? I think Bowles did a move where he didn't bring those players. He didn't push anybody off of the injury list this week, because I feel like that's a move to save those players for when it matters. You know, the playoff is a new season. There's no reason to rush anyone back. You get them to the playoffs. And to what you said, Caleb, you know, when you start this season and you lose Jensen, that's already a super big focal point. You have Donovan Smith there, and he basically lost his right hand when you lose Marpet from by him. It took years for them to get that bond that they had. You saw the show they were having together. So you speak to that bond and that brotherhood that they have. That's a different beast to now just bring someone else in. And I understand from a fan perspective, you could think it's just a plug and play like as you would on Madden, but it doesn't work that way in the real world, because there's some things. Yeah, it's a lot of moving pieces. It is a lot of scheme that is just not going to be easy to work out, if you will, right? That being said, the nemesis that the Saints have been for the Bucs over the years, a lot of what Cam Jordan's been against the Bucs in that offensive line over the years. You saw it different when you got worse here. You feel like you got Jensen. Now you got an anchor in the middle, right? But when you start losing pieces, now there becomes a collapse. And the one thing, as great as people are in the NFL, the Bucs defense had this for a while back. People, and I'm sure it happens on the offensive line as well. People tend to forget to only do their job. When you have a community, when you have a brotherhood, and you know your brother's going up against Cam Jordan, you want to, and you will try your best to be able to give them a hand to help out. But as you give a hand to help, you have not done your job. You are taking away from your own level of responsibility. And that same thing works on defense. You know, you're trying to cover somebody that you think not able to do a particular job, not able to get outside, so maybe you shade outside more. And now you give up that inside leverage that you would have had scheme proper fit. You now kind of give up those things. So everybody has to do their job. When you're looking at this team right now, Blake, Caleb, are you seeing anyone that looks like they're either not doing their job or they're trying to do too much? Can it get better for the rest of the stretch that we got in front of us?
Okay, so you touched on a few things. I will say, as far as Donovan losing Allie, I want people to understand something. It takes about 3 years for most offensive linemen to come into their own, to kind of find who they are as a player. 3 years, and this is a coach told me this, and I was like, I don't know what to talk about. Year 3, I was like, I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, and I know how to make the person I'm playing against play to my strengths so I can be successful, right? So to ask a rookie to come play for Tom Brady on the left side next to a bunch of vets, and then you take away his center, and now you have a young guy who's supposed to be the quarterback of the offensive line, directing everybody to go, right? And all these things like that. It's a tough job, right? It is a really, really tough job, and he will get better. He will get better. So, like, you can have hopes in that and faith in that, right? I don't think the offensive line has been playing that bad. It's sad that Tristan Wirfs got hurt because I think he's an amazing player. I don't know that I can say that there is people on the team who are doing too much or not doing enough. What I will say is Tom's whole career, right? He had the ability to, when his team was down players, when his team didn't have enough, he could literally put them on his back and take them to where they need to go. I think now at this age and stage in his life, in his career, he can't do that anymore. He needs more elite players around him to be successful. And I'll give you this comparison. Patrick Mahomes, everybody said that, and I love talking about Patrick, obviously. Everybody said that he would be worse and he would struggle without Tyreek Hill. His offense got better. The Kansas City Chiefs scored more points, have more yards after Tyreek Hill left. One of the best players in the history of the NFL, the fastest guy probably in the history of the NFL, right? Because he's in that age and stage of his life where he can carry a team, where he can put the team on his back and make no-look passes and do whatever. Now Tom needs a lot of help around him. And the thing about him is he needs specific kind of help. Because Tom has the guy to go to. He likes tight ends. He likes pass-catching running backs. He likes slot receivers. Tampa has 2 alpha males on the outside. They play Chris Godwin in a lot, kind of as like a, but Mike and Chris Godwin are 2. Anybody would love to have that. But that's not where Tom excels. That's not his comfort zone. He likes over the middle, 5-10 yards here, 15 yards here, swinging out the backfield. His game, the only person he ever threw deep to like that was Randy Moss. Right,
and he was younger. He was younger, and I think those were not only was he very much younger. Brandy was just absolutely taking the top off, and it was a very much. You knew there was like, dude, he's beating everybody. You just throw it out there. You could probably not overthrow him, so you're gonna throw a tug. And at that point, he's throwing touchdowns because of it. And I want to say something to what you said, which is very important. As you look at the team, Andy Reid's style team is not only they usually, even when he was with the Eagles, not only are they coached well, the scheme has a lot of the BA attributes to it. They always have a catching tight end. They always have a deep threat. They can basically get space out in your secondary. And I think with what they did, and people were thinking that, hey, without Tyreek Hill, it was going to be so different. But what they did is they bet, like you said, Caleb, they bet the farm that Mahomes could do it with anyone. But so you lost to Tyreek Hill, but you didn't lose the skill set. You just lost the one particular player. The skill set that he possesses, they have that on the roster right now, right? So they have a Tyreek Hill-esque player, not him, but I mean, it's a good knockoff. I'd buy that back. Because right now that team is clearly scoring more points. And what you were doing with Tyreek Hill and requiring 2 people, you got the safety bracketing, you got all that. Now he's got several players, and now you're not even keen on anyone because no one's like just kind of said, "Oh, I'm the alpha" just yet, right? Everyone's scoring. He's spreading the ball around. But to what you said, that's not Tom Brady. If we put Tom Brady on that same exact team, he does not have the same success that Mahomes has. Because he doesn't do the same things. He for that fact, he doesn't do what Aaron Rodgers does. But then you take Aaron Rodgers and you bring him over here, and he can show you how good Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, he can even make Scotty Miller look good.
Hey,
just imagine what he looks like here. And if they don't like him in Green Bay, I'm more than happy to get a discount double check over here.
Listen, if Aaron Rodgers finds a way to get to the Tampa Bay Bucks for a year or two with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans might have 3,000 yards receiving. He might break.
He's Aaron will throw that one-on-one. He's throwing it.
He's going to throw that back shoulder 52 times a game.
Yeah.
Throwing it.
But I want to ask you guys something, right? Okay, so we have the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm a Cowboy hater because I played for them briefly. I love the organization. My brother grew up a Cowboys fan, so we had like a little healthy little rivalry beef, and I used to always poke fun at the Cowboys. Great organization, one of the best you can be in. They take care of their players to the 10th degree. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But Dak Prescott's not it, man.
He's not.
He's not it.
But once again, this is another team that the offense seems to change. How is this team a team that you see the Cowboys and they're up? They don't know how to play with the lead. Is that Dak? You get Zeke. Now this year he's running much better, but Pollard should have started last year because Pollard is clearly shown he's stepping out, dude. He's stepping out.
He just can't pass block well.
I disagree. I think
show me.
So look. Again, there's a reason why Pollard isn't starting. Because everybody's like, oh, Pollard comes in the game, he has 10 carries for 95 yards.
That's all they look at.
But if you can't pass block, you can play 2 downs of series. First and second. So that's a detriment to the team. Pollard has never had a game where he's had, I think it was like over like 17 carries in his career. Mm-hmm. You can give that thing to Zeke. Zeke is not the guy he was. I remember there was a time when I first got in the NFL. You could not tackle Ezekiel Elliott and make him go backwards.
Nope. He was always falling forward. Yep.
A star. I watched this man ruin my playoff hopes, getting 4 yards at a time all the way down the field. He didn't come out, and then he scored and jumped in the little red bucket.
Oh yeah, the bucket. Make a wish.
Is it Salvation Army?
Salvation Army, yeah. So I watched that live on the field. Like I was playing that game, and I watched that whole thing happen. Right. So he's amazing. But Zeke can run block. He's a leader. He knows how to chip. He knows when to chip, when not to chip. As a tackle, if you chip at the wrong time, that guy's going to go inside, get a sack. If you don't chip the right way, he is a complete running back. And does he have that breakaway speed that he did before? No, but what you didn't see before Tony Pollard got his 50-yard run was Zeke running up the middle and hit those linebackers in the mouth the last 10 times. And then Pollard breaks one and he has that breakaway speed. So I don't think he should be a starter. I think they have the perfect thunder and lightning combination. And I'm not saying Dak is a bad quarterback because he's not. I think he's a top 10 quarterback currently in the NFL. But, like, the bar is getting set so high by Mahomes. This is I'll take a chance and give you my list right now. The top young quarterbacks. Tom and Aaron, league of their own. They're in a whole different stratosphere, right?
They're the old guard.
Exactly. Patrick Mahomes is in a league of his own as well. So take the old guard away. Patrick Mahomes is here. Then there's a space. And then I would say Joe Burrow is next. He's been to Super Bowl. He's the only quarterback to beat Patrick Mahomes 3 straight times. I don't even want them to play in the playoffs because it makes me nervous. Then I would say Lamar Jackson because he's the next young guy. He's won an MVP. Yeah. And then I would say Josh Allen.
Allen. You don't think Allen a little bit lower than this?
Lower than that?
I mean, no. I mean, he's low as where you have him at currently. Like he shouldn't be.
I think
he shouldn't be any higher than that. Give me the reason. What is the reason? Give me the reason.
Okay, so let me round it off real quick, and then I'll say Herbert after Allen. The reason I have Allen where he is because Allen hasn't accomplished anything in the NFL. He has a bunch of empty calorie stats and numbers. His team is always said to be this great team. They have not beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. He has not won an MVP. He doesn't have a Super Bowl appearance. Patrick Mahomes has been to Super Bowl twice. He's won 1. He has an MVP. He has league records. He's undefeated like in the month of November for his career, like 17-0. Right? He wins his division every year. There was a statistic What are they? The AFC West?
Yes.
The AFC West spent $595 million in the offseason to stop Patrick Mahomes, and he didn't lose a game in that division. Let that sink in. Lamar Jackson has an MVP in year 2. Year 2. Broke all these records. Had accounted for 57 touchdowns, whatever it was. Has a playoff win, right? No Super Bowl. What has Josh Allen? Joe Burrow in year 2 goes to the Super Bowl. He was hurt year 1, towards the ACL. Comes back. He gets sacked the most in the league record sacks. He got sacked, right? He is a couple plays away from winning the Super Bowl. In year 2, Josh Allen has played 7 years. What has he done other than make some amazing plays?
Not much. Just
I hear the argument.
Individual stats. You're right. Bunch of individual.
Yeah,
stats.
I mean, that's what I think. We get. I think I probably have been more just enamored by his individual accomplishments instead of his pro accomplishments.
It's splash plays. Because what accomplishments? What did he accomplish?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Up until last year, Josh Allen was almost a bust. Before his MVP campaign a couple years ago, he had a lot of interceptions, a lot of turnovers, which he's gotten back to this year since Brian Daboll lost. Yeah. And I played with Josh Allen. That dude is a special talent. He'll roll left, flick the ball behind his body. It'll go 70 yards. And you're like, how is this possible? So, it's beautiful to watch. It's like Justin Herbert. It's beautiful to watch. But what have you done for me and my team? We don't have any hardware. You don't have any hardware. You're number 1 in your division, and you might win it this year, but you haven't yet. You've never won a division before. Yeah. You can't beat the Chiefs in the Arrowhead Invitational. So why am I? Because it looks pretty, I'm going to say you're the number 2 quarterback? No, there's guys like Lamar who have an MVP. He won that. Right? Yeah. Joe Burrow, Super Bowl. He did that. Patrick Mahomes has all his stats. He did that. What have you done?
How would you feel about since he hasn't re-signed his contract? What would you feel about Lamar Jackson possibly making a stop down in the Tampa Bay?
Oh yeah, Lamar can't come to Tampa. You know that. That's a Miami boy right there. He can't be in here.
He can't. He can't. He's too close. He's too close.
But the Ravens ain't dumb. They're not dumb. They playing this game and they trying to hold up, but they know what it is. They're not dumb. You can't let him go. You can't let talent like that leave your organization. It'll be foolish. And if they do, I'll be shocked. Right? The Packers said all that stuff about we're not going to be handicapped by Aaron wanted to stay, wanted to leave. Then they paid him $50 million a year. They're not stupid. When you have those generational talent, you don't let those go because having that's why the Cowboys won't let that go. Having a serviceable quarterback in the quarterback league that it is now is so hard to find.
Yep.
Look at all the teams that don't have one. They're doing whatever they can. The Colts have been searching since Andrew Luck retired. They've been struggling.
Yep.
Right?
And then I saw he came out the other day hey, he think he retired too early. He should have not retired. And it's you can't get it back now.
Yeah. But I understand, I'll tell you something, and you guys played football, when you get injured like that and you having surgery every offseason and you not even you don't have a chance to even get better because you're just rehabbing and trying to get back to where you were before surgery, it's awful. It's not fun. It's not a fun thing to do. It's mentally grueling. So I understand. And again, he's one of those guys who's really, really smart and articulate, and he went to Stanford and he has a degree. So he's like, man, what am I? Ali Marpet retired after 7 years. He told me he was going to. He had 2 surgeries back to back his first 2 years. He was like, dude, I'm going to play my guarantees out and I'm going to walk away. I don't want to keep having surgeries. I don't want to keep ruining my body.
Do you think his concussions them season played into a part into his retirement?
Who, Ali?
Yeah.
No. Ali told me he was going to play 7 or 8 years his second year in the league when I met him.
Oh, so you already had a goal.
Listen, newsflash, where you heard of that? Newsflash, where you heard of that? So he knew that already.
So it was already planned.
Yeah, we were sitting in the hot tub, and he asked how long I wanted to play. I said 10 years. He said, dude, you're insane. I said, why? He says 7, 8 max. He said, I'm gonna get my second contract, play my guarantees, and I'm walking away. He said, I have a number in my head that I want to hit the bank account. When I hit it, He says, I'm good. He's getting his PhD right now.
And I mean, and then at that point, you get those bonuses, you get that Super Bowl ring. He was able to get that nice walk off into the sunset, and it's not, keep in mind, it doesn't stop from there, right? Like at this point in the career, I'm sure maybe if it's something that you look to do, then, obviously you have coaching next, right? That's always going to be another jump. And most players, they kind of usually start at the high school, maybe a year or two, depending. Or they may just go directly to the college, start there. I've seen so many ex-players, go the coaching route, you know what I'm saying, and then start building their resume that same way. And, I mean, once it's no one can say anything. You've already played at the high level. Doesn't necessarily mean you can coach, but the opportunity versus someone who's just read a book on how to coach, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be tenfold for you to get that opportunity. So, I mean, he doesn't have to stay and beat his body up. And to me, I think that becomes where the new NFL is, let the guys cycle through, and I don't know if that will change the number of where the NFL is at, but as we notice right now, the quarterback number, the NFL from a pay rate has gotten so skewed with the quarterback salaries that it almost doesn't seem like the upper echelon of quarterbacks and the rest of the quarterbacks are even playing the same position, from monetary value. It's ridiculous. Like it's just hands down.
Yeah, quarterbacks are starting to get baseball money, and I love it. I love it. I'm here for everybody to get paid and everybody to get money. There you go. Flash that cash.
Banking.
I love it. We got left tackles making $33, $34, $35 million a year to play left tackle. It's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing, and I love it because my black brothers is going to start learning how to kick set. You 6'8". The NBA might not be for you, but learn how to take a pass set. You might get you $25, $30 million a year. So I love where the NFL is going.
I can't be mad at that. Wait, let me ask you this. Speaking about that kick step right now, let me ask you. And you may be friends with this person. I'm sure you are. I'm sure you've had plenty of conversations and talk with him. Left tackle currently at Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Donovan Smith, leading the league right now in penalties.
And you're friends with him,
and I know you're friends with him. And let me just ask this out now, two-sided here, because you get to the NFL, and let's take you down a quick snap of this road. You get to the NFL, you played in high school, played through all your life, whether you had one parent or two, your parent ages up, right? You got parents age up, so all the time at NFL, you always get to this player. He's been in the league 1-2 years. Parent passes away. Somebody passes away, right? When it was Quan Alexander, it was his brother because, the family got money. Maybe everyone in every situation differently throughout it doesn't always work out. Everybody can't handle that influx of funds, right? It becomes different, right? Difficult things of that nature. Now we get this recently that, hey, Donovan Smith has personal issues, but from a fan and a talking head perspective, it's like everyone in the league has issues. Everyone in the league has to work with or deal with, which is the same way when you say, hey, I don't give anything to Tom Brady because he's getting a divorce after X number of years. And, if him take days off, right? Then it's like, well, are you telling me that you're here in the building and you're not playing well because you have some personal issues? Should there not be some time just taken away from the game and plug you in? Or is it more, would you see that as more of him kind of grinding it out or doing it for the team by dealing with the issue and playing, but playing bad? How do you perceive that?
Okay, I'll tell you like this right now. Donovan Smith, with off-the-field issues, playing how he's playing, is better than whoever else they can find to come off the street and come play in that position. Far better.
Okay.
Far better. Everybody compartmentalizes differently. Everybody is going through issues. That's a fact. But look how quickly we were, maybe not us, but the media was to throw Tom Brady bail for his bad play, right?
Still are.
Yeah.
Still are.
Yeah.
And then when Donovan Smith says, I'm going through some things off the field, I'm having some things with my family, we're like, well, everybody is. Suck it up. But for Tom, it's like, oh, well, this is happening, that's happening, that's happening. I just found out about him leading the league in penalties thing, which I didn't know. This is the thing about Donovan, right? Let me give you a little backstory. Donovan is one of the most talented players I've ever played with in my life. Raw ability, strong as an ox, fast, explosive. If there are 66 plays in a game, 60 to 61 plays, you would be like, oh my God, this is the best left tackle in the NFL. And then there's like 5 plays where it's so easy. I think Donovan's problem is it's so easy for him sometimes that he kind of relaxes and then has a mistake, and then the mistake's on TV. You don't see when he's running dudes off the ball 15 yards on double teams and taking grown men and throwing them into the ground. Like, he's a really good player. When he has those games where he's focused 100% of the time, that's what it is. It's fun. And that's where the off the field stuff comes into play. You have a lot on your mind. Like, and he is like, I know him personally, so I know what he's dealing with. He has a lot on his mind. I'm not trying to fail because at the end of the day, nobody cares, right? My coach told me that, Adrian Clem said, nobody cares, go hard. Nobody cares what you're going to do. When you walk out there, all they see is Smith on your back, Buccaneers jersey, and you're starting, so you got to perform. And so nobody. But I think the Bucs would be shocked if they put somebody else in there and you miss what you had. It's one of those things you think the grass is always greener. There is one elite tackle in the NFL currently. David Bakhtiari has dealt with injuries. He's not playing. He's not been himself. The left tackle for the Titans has dealt with injuries. He hasn't been himself when he was younger. Ronnie Stanley's dealt with injuries. Other than Trent Williams, give me another elite left tackle in the NFL. I don't know any. Right? I'm talking about like elite. So to sit here and slander him, after Donovan Smith left the game against the Cowboys, what happened to Michael Parsons? He was getting sacks like he stole something.
Listen, it is. Look, Caleb, you said exactly what Blake had said before. Blake, remember when we were like, yes, he's making these mistakes, but I think Blake was the one who said it, because I was like, yo, he's making these mistakes. And this is before anything came out about any personal issues. Just like, yo, he's the only issue that we have. But when we were talking about, but it was before he signed, Blake, remember? It was like, well, who else is out there? Who are you going to go get? There's nobody to go get, that you feel like is going to come in and do better. I mean, you're just replacing a guy. You're just replacing him.
The NFL, newsflash people, they want to replace you. They want to go cheaper. They want to go younger. They cannot wait till they can do that. They could have drafted somebody. There isn't. There's no savior out there, right? Like, again, like I said, like, everybody wants to nitpick and do this, and I trust me, I get it. Like, but you're in for a rude awakening. Let this man go to free agency. Let him go to free agency.
He's going to get picked up. That's what we said before.
Okay, sorry. I was wrong. There's 2 elite left tackles in the NFL. Trent Williams and Teron Armstead. I almost forgot. I almost slipped up. Teron Armstead up in Miami. That dude is an absolute dog. He's a Hall of Famer in my book. Other than that, everyone else is right here. It's on a game-to-game basis, right? The best of tackles give up sacks. Like, I'm sorry, nobody's perfect.
Yeah, they give up sacks.
Nobody is perfect. Like, and then again, you're putting guys in a position where you're throwing the ball 40 times a game.
Right.
You have 40 pass sets. I'll let you go out there against Myles Garrett 40 times. Let's see if he beats you a couple times.
Look, I'm going to tell you.
What are we talking about?
And this is one of the things that may be where when it comes to Donovan Smith's defense and his side is like, listen, when we become predictable, everyone looks bad. You make it harder for the offensive linemen because now at this point the defense it's hey, we know where you're going, we know what you're doing, and like I think from a running back perspective, and you talk about helping linemen, the chips that I see Leonard Fournette doing from a help blocking standpoint, that dude is coming through clean the defensive ends and clean the linebackers that maybe, either tackles or guards are supposed to help out or, looking for him to get a chip on. He's doing that phenomenally.
And I'll say this. I don't hear nobody slandering Tristan Wirfs' name when every single time the Saints play, Cam Jordan beats him like a drum. Every single time the Saints play, Cam Jordan beats Tristan. So Tristan Wirfs don't give sack to nobody else, but when the Saints come to town, Cam Jordan's gonna eat. So
I think it's just it's like he just OGs him. It's like he just I've seen Tristan Wirfs take people that they're like, yo, they're supposed to be this and this, and Tristan Wirfs just manhandles them. He's a man child. He's like the child of the Anunnakis or something. Like he's dude put hands on people. But then you get him against Cam Jordan. But for that fact, Cam Jordan it's just like he's in the head of the offensive line for the Bucs. It's like when the Saints played.
I played against them and played with them. I consider him a friend. Cam he gonna talk to you the whole game, but he's not talking trash. He's just like he would sit there. I've seen him do it to guys next to him. He's like, dude, you're not good. And he's not even mad. He's not yelling. He's just like, dude, you're just average. You know that? Like, do you know you're average? And one thing I'll say about Cam does not take a single play off. If he plays 80 plays, he's playing 80th play his first play. We're on the first time I played, and me and him had met in Mexico the year before for like an NFL PA thing. So we were kind of close, and we were talking about different things. It's the backside of a power play. For those of you who don't know power, it's a pin and pull play. We got double team on the front side. I'm playing right tackle, so the right guard pulls. My job is to do a hinge block. So I step down, make sure that backside linebacker doesn't shoot the gap and blow the play up. My responsibility is to kind of make sure the defensive end can't loop around and run it. For the backside tackle, I'm not going to call it a playoff, but it's not a difficult job to do. This man, Cam Jordan, ran down on me so hard. When he hit me, my knees buckled. I had to use him to hold myself up. I said, bro, it's the backside of power. I said, bro, what are you doing? And he was just like, I got one speed, bro.
Go.
And that's it. And from then on, I know what it is when I play Cam. And we have
you got to respect it because you know he's going to go hard.
Because everybody doesn't do that. Your favorite players, out of 60 plays on defense, they taking 30 of them things off, and they chilling, and they're not doing anything. They taking it off, right? Cam is not like that. It was like that at practice with him when we were in practice because we played each other for so many years. You know, like we talk trash before it, and we have a good time. So, he's a phenomenal player. He gives Tristan. He's the only guy I've seen other than Khalil Mack that one game give Tristan real problems, but nobody says anything. I think it's just an easy target for Donovan's an easy target for everybody. Everybody wants to pick at him and say all these things about him. I'm going to go find somebody better. Watch. Go find somebody better.
Yeah, I would agree. That's one thing. Every time it comes to offseason, I think Blake said last time, I think the only tackle that was like available was like the tackle from the Vikings. And he was like someone that the Vikings cut. So there's really no one that is a true starter that you could really get in to come. And if you're not drafting a Tristan Wirfs-esque, tackle to come into the league and start.
Top 5 of the draft, yeah.
Well, remember, Tristan was the lowest rated lineman in that draft as well. Remember, he was the last one. Mekhi Becton and all those guys went before him.
And look how that turned out.
Look at
how that turned out.
So I think everybody needs to pump their brakes a little bit. I know it's an easy target, and like Donovan came out and he said, I'm going through a lot off the field, and he was being vulnerable with everybody. I think you give a man space, man. Like that's not an easy. We on men here. That's not an easy thing to come in and hit. There's other factors going on. When Tom Brady came out and said, I got a lot of shit going on in my life. I'm 45 years old. Everybody get a break.
He was praised because of it. He was praised. He was praised because of it.
He was praised. He was praised.
Yeah.
Donovan said that now it's like, oh, he's a little B word. This. Everybody taking their shots. So no, man, I'm not going for that. I'm throwing my man some bail. Yeah, the penalties thing isn't good. I know Donovan, so I know how good he is. I also know that like there is sometimes a lack of focus, and that's why some things happen that shouldn't happen because he is an elite talent, right?
All right, so let me ask you this, Caleb. When you talk like that, you sound like how I would sound as a coach talking about a player that I know, right? Because the inside lets you when you see a talent and you know it when you see it and you know how good the player can be, you then at that point, you definitely defend them. However, now, where do we get to the point where the rubber meets the road, where we start seeing that level of Donovan consistently, or we start seeing, those things? Like, we're past the 3 years for him. So I would say last year, I thought he had a phenomenal season in the overall, right? Now, I can't say when stuff started happening for him this year, right? Like, never mind when it came out and came to, talking points. It could have been, brewing from the first game, right? The first penalty he had, it could have been happening. But as a player, could you speak to how he could possibly dial into that? Obviously, he's pushing past it, but how could he dial in? Is it even possible for him to do so?
Okay, I would say other than this season, his last 2 seasons, I thought he played phenomenal. I thought he was consistent. There's a reason he got 2 $40 million checks in 3-year deals. He couldn't even play that, right? So I think that was key. What game did he get hurt? Game 2 or game 3? When you hurt
it was against Dallas.
Okay, so the first game.
Yeah, his arm got whipped between 2 defenders. Got whipped.
Yeah. Okay. So he's been playing with an inside elbow injury. So basically, he's blocking with one arm. I think there's going to be some holding calls.
Yeah.
I think the holding calls, and I've always been taught. We've always been taught as linemen, if you have a penalty in the framework of the game, we can live with that. Aggressive penalties, unnecessary roughness, as long as it's not a cheap shot, holding because you're trying to protect your quarterback. As long as it's not like false starts and things of that nature, if those aren't the penalties, we can live with that as a team. If I'm I'll tell you something right now. If I'm struggling because I have an injured arm, I'm getting beat. I don't want anybody to hit Tom Brady. He don't got many hits left.
Yeah.
I will hold him.
I agree. Yeah. I would agree that as long as it's not an ME. Yeah, if he's not doing MEs, then you take a holding penalty for Tom.
Yeah, you're not hitting Tom in the side of his head. It's not happening, right? So again, I don't want to throw him bail because people have down years. Like the whole team is down. Like the whole team is struggling, right? So I don't want to single out one guy and be like, oh, this is the reason and this is the cause for this. I think he's been coming into his own. I think he's been playing well. Like I said, I would love for him, for selfish reasons, as my friend and somebody that I think is really talented, I would love for him to eliminate those 4 or 5 bad plays every single game. Because outside of that, if you watch his tape, he does some amazing things on the field. But again, as an offensive lineman, it's what comes to the territory. You don't get noticed, you do something bad.
Yeah.
The only person they talk about good is Trent Williams.
They only call your name when you did something bad.
The only person who's good gets highlighted is Trent Williams.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Everybody else, you notice when they do bad. And that's just kind of how it goes. And so, like I said, it's been tough. He's been injured all year. The penalties thing isn't good. That's not a good stat to have. But I think it's kind of been one of those things where it's like it's a culmination of the whole team. Like the whole team is kind of in a funk and kind of struggling, and they can't get out that funk. So we'll see as they go.
I don't think the offensive play calls help him either. Yeah, I don't think the scheme doesn't help him, and the fact that we can't run the ball, I think that
catered.
That is also a Tom Brady effect, though. That is also a Tom Brady effect.
Yeah.
So I don't really think that helps him. Well, hey guys, I got to jump off here right now, so I'll get back with you guys. Hey, Caleb, it's great talking to you. Can't wait to jump on with you again. Maybe we could run something after this game, or we'll see coming up. But just before I get out of here, give me the pick for this week. How do you see us doing? Let me just get your numbers before I go.
I got the Bucs winning. I got the Bucs winning the next game. I got the Bucs winning next games. They got Carolina and Atlanta, right?
Yep.
Next two.
Yep.
Yeah, I got them winning those games. I think Sam Darnold hasn't been playing badly. They've been kind of tailoring the game plan, haven't succeeded. But I think the Bucs bounce back, win the next two, win the division, and go into the playoffs with a little bit of momentum.
All right, no problem. We'll get back and figure out whether we're going with Dallas. Hey, Blake, before I get out of here, let me know who you got in those next two.
Well, they got Arizona on Christmas. Arizona's struggling. I think Caleb, I think you weren't here last time. Caleb made a good story about what he did with the Patriots and stopping Kyler Murray and all of that. About Chase Winovich blitz. I thought about that every time now when I saw Chase. But yeah, this is another game that the Bucs should win. I mean, on paper, and but they beat themselves. So I like I said in this game against Cincinnati, I have zero expectations for them. So anything they do is a shocker to me because they're yet to play 4 full quarters in any of the game this season. So they should win this game. Will they score more than 20? I don't know. Well, I'll go with the score since we're playing the prediction game. I'll go 24-14.
So they got Arizona coming up?
Correct. On Christmas.
Arizona.
On Christmas? I don't think Arizona scores more than 10 points. I'm sorry. It's they're a little bit worse off than the Bucs. I will go 23-10. Bucs.
It's gonna be an ugly one.
23-10. Hey, I'm not gonna put a score out here. My heart just says this defensively. Defensively, Caleb. Historically, Buccaneers have done horribly against any backup quarterback.
Yep.
It almost doesn't matter what the time frame is. I've seen Josh McCown take it to us. Fitzpatrick's took it to us. Who was butt fumble? I've seen Geno Smith take it to it. Look, I've seen Purdy. Backup quarterbacks in our defense just don't do well. Like we can't find a college tape or something. I don't know what. Like
before you go, I need to give you this story because I just thought about it. It's hilarious. We're playing the Arizona Cardinals. I want to say it's my rookie year, and Adrian Peterson had just left the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
And Adrian Peterson left the Saints. He asked for his release. He goes to the Cardinals. And all week, the coaching staff is like, yeah, Adrian Peterson's washed up. We're going to bottle him up this game, this, that, and the other. Larry Fitzgerald doesn't got it anymore. This, that, and the other. The first play of the game, we throw a deep ball to Mike Evans. Patrick Peterson picks it off on the
I remember
Arizona sideline.
Yeah.
I'm a rookie. I'm a young boy. I'm standing there watching the game. I'm not starting yet. He picks it off on this sideline. He runs all the way to our sideline, and he's running down our side looking at us saying, this is my shit. This is my shit. That's how the game starts.
Yeah.
That's how the game starts. We get whatever, we maybe kick a field goal the next drive. Larry Fitzgerald has 4 catches in like 40 yards the next drive, catches a diving catch for a touchdown.
Yeah.
They score.
Peterson
the next play, Adrian Peterson busted 60 yards. That boy had like 210 yards on the game.
Yeah.
We lost like 45-13.
I remember.
Dirk could have walked in the locker room. He said, "Today I'm embarrassed to be a coach." Hey, that was a quiet.
He actually said that.
Yeah. It was bad. Like, dog, it was bad. Larry Fitzgerald had, I think, 15 catches, 150 yards. Adrian Peterson had like 210 and 2 touchdowns. We had like 3 turnovers. It was a butt whipping, bro. It was ugly. That just reminded me of that when you said that we struggle against backup quarterbacks. I don't even know who the quarterback. I don't even know who it was, but
we just don't normally do well against backup quarterbacks. I'm telling you, historically, I've watched so many backup quarterbacks, and it's like normally. Even with the Purdy thing last week, and I do got to go, but it was like, okay, you see that first hit, it's like, okay, we going to get after him. We going, welcome to the NFL moment. You feel me? And then next thing you know, it's just like dot. I'm like, oh my gosh. They running. It's just, we don't look good. And, it doesn't help for the offense to be the way the offense is right now, but we'll see. Right now, look, I feel like the Buccaneers team right now, offensively, we're in the hospital. So my hope and prayers go out for our offense right now. I hope we can do better, you know what I'm saying? And I'll call up and see some flowers upstairs, whatever, and see what we can do. But right now, it's just got to get better, guys. Well, anyway, it was great. Right now, Caleb Benenoch, you know what I'm saying? Formerly Buccaneers. And, of course, you already know who it is, Blake Anthony. I'm so happy to be with you right here at Sports Talk 49. It's me, Coach T. And, hey, I'm coming to a stadium near you. You already know what it is. Peace.
Love, bro. See you later.
And this, as we always do, you're the master of everything. What you do with your life, what you do with it is entirely up to you. Thank you guys. God bless. And as always, fire those cannons.